Yo, what up, guys? We have a beautiful 2024 Lowrider ST, my Lowrider ST, on a beautiful Monday morning. It's 72 degrees. It's about as perfect as it gets. Not a cloud in the sky. And just want to talk about these beautiful machines and honestly, how beneficial it is for our mental health. So whether it's men's mental health or women's mental health, these machines right here are amazing things. So let's talk about that a little bit. So this is an empty road, newer construction. They haven't yet put houses on, but they've had it paved for a couple years now. So it's kind of nice to do some little video stuff out here. So yeah, let's talk about mental health and riding. Talk about feeling mindful. Riding motorcycles is about as mindful as it gets. I think it's the Buddhists that say, you know, the monkey mind. And they're essentially talking about not being present, not being in the moment. And riding motorcycles is one thing where you are very much in the moment. When you are riding, it's the one thing you're focusing on. It's the one thing you're doing. And there's not much room to think about much else, honestly. You're focusing on the motorcycle, you're focusing on the ride, you're focusing on the beautiful terrain, and you're focusing on operating your motorcycle safely. Riding motorcycles is probably one of the most mindful things I've ever done as far as, you know, mental health goes. So, you know, as you guys know, you're having a bad day, what are you gonna do? One of the best things you can do is get on your motorcycle and rip some miles, clear your head. I can't speak for everybody, but when I'm riding, it's literally therapy. I get done with a couple-hour ride and I am so much more calm, I am so much more clear-minded, and I am so much more present. I think that's something people don't talk about enough. I mean, motorcycle guys, we discuss it, I guess, from time to time, and it's funny because, like, you actually kind of go through a little bit of a withdrawal when you're not riding, which is insane. But in the sense of, oh my God, like, I need to get on my bike, I need to feel the wind, I need to feel this machine, I need to rip these miles. True game changer when it comes to mental health and riding. Doesn't get much better. As everybody knows, we're in weird times, and every generation can say that, you know, from time to time, but we're in some really, really strange times, and there is nothing more beneficial during these weird times for me than to get on my motorcycle and rip some miles. And, you know, without getting too political, without getting too in depth, I mean, we're living in one of the most divisive times that I've ever known. You know, I'm 38 years old. I'm sure my parents and grandparents have seen some very, very, very divisive times. But we're in a time and place where the media is what I would consider to be, you know, truly evil at this point. And they do anything they can to pin people against each other. And we need to remember that no matter what your political stance is, no matter where you are, no matter what you see on Instagram and X and all the different social medias, that we got to stay mindful in the sense that, you know, we live in a really strange time where media has never been more divisive, where the internet has never been more divisive. Now, like I said, you know, we want to keep this motorcycle channel strictly about motorcycles, and we don't need to talk about that stuff too much. It does relate directly to what I'm talking about, because what are we talking about? Mental health with riding. You know, you don't want to constantly get caught up in politics and everyday events and, you know, all the messed up stuff happening in our world. Sometimes you got to take a break. I mean, it's good to be informed, right? But sometimes you got to take a break. And when I say good to be informed, I mean, who can you really trust anymore? The mainstream media is a joke at this point. Luckily, there's still, we still got freedom of speech here in America, one of the most beautiful things on the planet. And there's podcasts and other resources that are out there trying to set the record straight, not trying to divide us as Americans. So I'm getting a little off track here, I suppose, kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent, but I'm sure a lot of you can see eye to eye with what I'm trying to say here. It comes down to motorcycles. With our motorcycle community, it's a beautiful thing. It's exactly why me and my buddy Josh started Happy Road Bike Night. And we're lucky in Wisconsin to have such a great motorcycle community. Obviously, only being an hour away from Milwaukee, home of Harley Davidson. But we mainly started this bike night was because we saw a lot of people into motorcycles in our area, but we weren't having much of a motorcycle community. So now you have the riding for all the positives of your mental health. You also have a riding community, and I think that's huge. It just keeps the motivation alive. It keeps the excitement alive. I love bouncing ideas off different people and what they're doing with their motorcycles and the trips they're taking and the events they're going to. And I love what motorcycling has brought to my life. I mean, days like this, you can't not. Look at this. You're out in nature. You're out in the open road. You're seeing things from the seat of a motorcycle you otherwise might not have been able to see. And even in a car, it's just different. You know, you go, all of a sudden you go into a valley and you feel this cool air. And then you'll go up at the top of a hill and you'll feel this warm air. You're in the elements. Just every single thing. You feel every single thing. Now it's like if I haven't ridden for a couple days, I am chomping at the bit. And it honestly freaks me out about winter coming up. Because I'm like, oh no, it's going to be another, 5 months or so before I can get back on this bike. And not only that, it snows and it starts to warm up, but then you got to wait for a couple good rains to get that salt off the roads too. Like I was saying with the motorcycle community, it helps to kind of strip away all the bullshit, honestly. It really does. You're just looking at people riding motorcycles. Myself, I might have wildly different views than some of my other friends that also ride. And, I'm a tattooer, so I'm around a lot of different types of people. And I consider myself to be a pretty tolerant person and a pretty accepting person. And I think that's what we really need moving forward. And motorcycles kind of bridge that gap. Motorcycles don't care where you stand politically. Motorcycles don't care your thoughts on this, that, and the other thing. This one common denominator is these amazing machines. That gap being bridged is one of the most beautiful things about motorcycles. So if you feel yourself, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, X, whatever it is, you feel yourself starting to get a little frustrated, like I do at times, you just got to step away. And whatever release that is for you, say, you know what, I'm sick of looking at this crap on the internet. I'm going to get out on my bike. I'm going to make memories. I'm going to feel the wind on me. I'm going to feel the elements. I'm going to be on the open road. Be out in nature. Put down your phone. I mean, we wonder why our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation was so much more mentally healthy. I mean, look at the issues we have right now with social media, with depression, with people on medication. I mean, we're in this is coming from someone like me. I suffer from anxiety. I have, some depression here and there. A lot of us do, but, look at the suicide rates. Look at the depression rates. Look at the amount of people on medication. We are one of the most depressed generations probably in existence, besides people in the depression. Obviously there's all these wars, there's terrible things that happen, but as far as America, I mean, we are one of the most depressed generations statistically. And it's devastating, yet we have more technology. We have never been more informed, quote unquote, about our health, about our education, but we are also one of the most misinformed generations. We don't even know what to believe anymore, And how do you escape that? Well, what is it for you? What is that thing for you? For me, it's riding motorcycles. If you don't have a motorcycle and you're watching this for some weird reason, dude, I cannot suggest anything stronger than getting a motorcycle. I tell all my friends this, especially a lot of my friends who are scared to get into riding. And you don't take the approach, oh, you're a wuss, dude, you can't get into you're scared to ride a bike, blah, blah, blah. No, the risk is it's understandable why people are people are worried about it, you know? Riding can be a little dangerous, you know? But once you do ride and you get those fundamentals down, you understand how to ride a motorcycle, you practice, you're vigilant, after that comes the enjoyment. Riding a motorcycle is one of the few things in life that's not overrated. And I've said that in my other videos. It's not. It's one of the few things that's not overrated. So many things are overrated. So many hobbies are overrated. This one, not one of them. And then it's not even just riding the motorcycle. It's all the research, the fun YouTube wormholes, deciding how you want to dial in your bike, making it custom, making it yours. I mean, that's a really, really fun part about riding. Granted, it's not good for your pocketbook, but hey, man, there's a lot of other worse hobbies. There's people out there blowing money on booze every week and doing drugs and, you know, blowing their money on stuff that doesn't make memories. You're blowing your money on crap that's just doesn't do anything for you. And I've been there, man. I've had issues with that. I've spent way too much money on things, and certain hobbies I've got really into and dumped tons of money into. But in my heart, I kind of knew deep down like it wasn't quite right, you know? Get onto some highway miles here. Harley Davidson, baby, let's go. I just got off the highway. I don't like all that wind noise in the mic when I'm recording. So yeah, I mean, I spent years dumping money into other hobbies as well, but riding motorcycles is one of the only things that has really stuck for me. And I think it's because it's like, you know, there's so many other hobbies, which I enjoy sports for sure, but there's a lot of other hobbies I think about too. Like, typically I'm really attracted to hobbies where I'm actually participating in it. You know, some people's favorite hobby is, let's say, football, right? But, you know, there's a lot to get into, whether it's fantasy and stats and all this other cool stuff, but you don't actually physically get to do a hobby. Your hobby is like sitting down and watching something, which I always thought was kind of interesting too. Personally, I love basketball. NBA is my favorite sport, and I really enjoy watching it. But it's not really necessarily a hobby. It's more of just kind of an interest, you know. So that's another thing. So anyway, we're gonna stop in the dealership, see what's up. It's Madison Harley Davidson right here. Continue this in a minute. All right, just got done at Harley Davidson in Madison. Picked up a hoodie. Nothing crazy. Just want to get some more fresh gear. But it's wild. At this point, I can't really imagine a life without riding motorcycles. It's something that's so special to me. We have this beautiful Midwest landscape. It's a good place to live. It's a good place to raise a family. But we just have these brutal winters. And I just love riding motorcycles so much. I mean, I want to get out of the cold weather anyway. I really do, but riding motorcycles only further motivates me to get out of this winter hellhole. How the hell I'm supposed to live in this state in Wisconsin for the rest of my life, you know? I mean, we're only getting older, and I want to be able to enjoy riding motorcycles year-round, or at least damn close to year-round. And for those of you watching, you know how that is. By the time summer hits, you are so excited you can't even contain yourself, barely. All you want to do is be out on the bike 24/7. The fact that I got to go to my garage and look at my bike sitting in there for 6 months, just staring at me with the cover on it, it's like, oh man. I mean, these are first world problems, right? I mean, but, you know, I kind of see Tennessee or even North Carolina. These are places that you still get the seasons, but it's still warm, you know, 10, 11 months out of the year. You can still technically ride your motorcycle all year round. I don't know why everybody wouldn't want to live in that type of climate. If you're not a huge fan of the desert or the heat, Arizona or Texas wouldn't be your best options as well, but I personally love that desert landscape. So at the end of the day, put all the crap aside, and when you're having one of those days when you're on the internet, you can't stop seeing junk thrown at your face at all times, doesn't stop getting pushed, whatever narrative it is, put that phone down, turn off that TV, close that laptop, and get on your motorcycle. That's what I'm trying to do to handle all the chaos we're living in. And it is a lot of chaos. The powers that be trying to divide us. It's not a conspiracy at this point. We know it. We see it happen every day. I don't know a single person now, my age, 38 years old, that actually trusts the news. I don't care if it's CNN. I don't care if it's Fox. I don't care who it is. When you turn that on there, they are saying the complete opposites. They are spinning complete opposite narratives. So here I am talking about this topic. I'm supposed to be escaping this topic, right? Riding is supposed to be escaping this topic, all this stuff. But I do feel the need to talk about it in a mental health perspective. Because a lot of people, they become so glued, so obsessed with social media and their phone and whatever narrative they're tied into. It becomes their whole personality. I mean, come on, you don't want politics to become your whole personality. In 5 years, the state of politics could be completely different than it is now even. Don't buy into it. Get out on your motorcycle. Ride your bike. Get out on your boat. Do your fishing. Get out your skateboard. Go to the park. Take out your canvas and your paintbrushes. Do a painting. I mean, it's never ending. And let's keep human connection alive. At the end of the day, human connection is everything. It literally is. Have you ever wondered why you'll have certain friends who might have a completely different political opinion than you? And trust me, you can get in some serious fights. You can get in some screaming matches. We've all been there. But at the end of the day, do they care for you as a person? Do you care for them as a person? Deep down, what is their heart? Do they have a good heart? I mean, we all are reactive at times. There's no doubt about that. But let's surround ourselves with good people, fun hobbies, especially motorcycles. And yeah, just do our best every day, right? That's all we can do. So hopefully that comes across as clear. You know, I didn't want this to turn into like some political discussion per se, but I did want to correlate motorcycles and mental health and how amazing it is, and that no matter where you are, where you stand, you can still get out there and clear your head and get out there with friends, even if they don't completely agree with you. Like we always talk about at my tattoo shop, just to avoid any bullshit. We always say no politics, no religion in my tattoo shop. And it doesn't mean that you don't care about politics. It doesn't mean that you don't care about religion. It means that there's certain things that those topics should just stay out of. And I feel like motorcycles is kind of one of them. And that's just my opinion, you know? So anyway, happy road bike night. Next one, October 11th, that me and my buddy Josh put together. Huge majority of the proceeds go to helping out local organizations and causes. We've been donating lately to the Monona Fire Department here right outside of Madison. So to put that money towards a good cause and help the community. Great sponsors. It's been awesome. So try to make that out. It's at Barley Pop Tap. Flyers rolling out soon. And yeah, please like and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate you. Peace.